Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, there we go. Test 1, 2. Oh, it's overmodulating just a little bit, Chatty. Chatteroo. Lightning. Oh no, I hope we don't get taken down again. Ugh. All right, Team Trump Radio Network. News Talk 614. Yes, we're late again, but appreciate you guys on the feed. Now, seriously, go do whatever else you were doing on the computer. It's a radio station. You don't have to watch anything, so I'm serious. Go back to work. Go to your other browser window or open up Microsoft Word that you were just writing that company report on. Just listen to us in the background. Because if you stare at your phone, you're going to get really bored and you'll stop listening. But this is a radio program. Nothing to see here, literally, people. We are so glad you make an appointment with us every morning just after 10 o'clock and sometimes a lot after 10 o'clock. What we're doing right now, and the reason I haven't started ranting and raving yet, is we're doing what you should be doing right now. It is the Spring Share-a-thon. We're just needing to grow earballs more so than eyeballs. Because, again, there's nothing to see here. But we're sharing out the link that the show has started. Vinny is with me from the Red Line. Good morning, Vinny.
Good morning.
Chad, can we just turn the music off? All right, there we go. Give you a mic level check, Vinny.
Check. 1, 2, 3. Check. 1, 2, 3.
God, Vinny yells all the time. You got a loud voice. Oh, no response?
I figured
you're speechless, really?
I figured I would.
I make the charge that you are really loud, and you just honestly can't go, yeah, you're right, I talk loud. You seriously have to think about it.
I'm very loud. Very loud.
Okay, you confess. Used to drive us crazy at Dish Network, Vinny. Just have to tell you. I'm just saying.
Use your inside voice, son. That's what my mom used to always say. Use your inside voice.
Vinny was on my team at Dish Network doing customer service, and we were taking both billing, tech calls, level 1 tech. Vinny and I could do like level 2 or 3 instead of sending them to the morons in our, help me with technology department at Dish. But he was yelling at every single customer, just screaming at them. It's like, stop!
And what he didn't understand is the person on the other line is hard of hearing. So
no. Like right now, you are just like yelling. Your inside voice is louder than my inside voice, which is really loud to begin with. So, anyways, we're finishing sharing out the stuff, which you should too. So, then we're going to put it into the News Talk Radio page, which we've already done. So next you're not even looking at this. How can you prepare to run the Red Line as a real live show if what are you doing on your phone? Wait a minute, stop. Are you like dealing with like a text message or a phone call that's important, or are you on the internet right now?
I am checking breaking news and stuff.
All right, we're going to put your phone away because you get sidetracked, and we're trying to show you how to share your show out.
I know, I've got that part down.
But you have to look at it over and over and over again. No more distractions. Here we go. So we've shared the One Trump group, the News Talk fan page on Facebook, which you should be too doing if you're listening right now. Don't watch. So we go to share a group, and I've got this One Trump group that's got like 80,000 people in it, and I'm going to share our live webcast, but it's really a radio show, to that We Support President Trump Facebook group. So now I've shared it to 2 huge Team Trump Facebook groups, Vinny. And we just re-verify that it's working. There is 1 person watching right now. Who are you? Who do you think it is? I bet you it's David. You think it's David? Vinny, they can't hear you. Shake your head.
No, I don't think it's David.
You don't think it's David?
No.
Maybe the first listener of the show is Lisa, the woman down in Florida.
No.
Nope. I bet you think it might be Dave from Powell?
I don't even know who Dave from Powell is.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't tell Dave that. You've never heard of Dave from Powell? He is probably the most infamous talk show caller in the history of the state of Ohio, and you've never heard of Dave from Powell?
You know what? Maybe I have. It's not something that registered with me.
He's like, howdy, boys and girls. You know, he's got a radio show Dave from Powell does on Saturday nights down in Cincinnati in the WLW studios. He's on their 55 KRC station.
Really?
Yep. But you've never heard Dave from Powell. And you've listened to talk radio in Columbus for 30 years, right?
I may have, yeah.
Oh, you don't have to say you have. Just if you honestly haven't, say I haven't heard of that clown.
I mean,
Dave from Powell. He's a talk radio clown.
It sounds familiar, but
you're making Dave from Powell feel very, very insecure right now. So you've never heard of Dave from Powell, the talk show guy that would call every talk station in Columbus for as long as you've been listening to talk radio. And you don't even know that he has his own radio show on 55 KRC, Riding the Wave with Dave, every Saturday night at 9 o'clock?
No.
Okay. See that? All right, 805-727. Now, when we're doing the Hunt for the Truth, Vinny, it's 805-727-DIRK. But don't use that on your Redline show. The other shows like Dano in the morning at 6:10 a.m. and then Steve Boom Boom Cannon when he does his night show at 7:10 p.m. You just give the numbers, 805-727-3475. You don't say DIRK. Because if no one listens to my program, which is probably good right now. Oh, crap. Are we on the air? I think we are.
Yes, I believe we
All right,
are.
so we've shared out everything. But I think Dave from Powell is going to be on... hang on a minute. We're going to have to build a cough button in for you when we put you in your studio, Vinny.
It doesn't happen very often. Oh.
All right, so the live broadcast is up on YouTube. And if somebody is watching on YouTube right now, we're going to just go there to the NEWSTALK614 YouTube channel. And we are just going to make sure that the live broadcast is working. And we're going to check in on that chat room on YouTube now that we've written the phone number in the chat room on Facebook. Did you hear anything I just said?
Yeah.
What did I...
We're going to YouTube and check and make sure it's live.
And then what are we going to do?
Facebook.
Oh, hang on a second. Cough button. What? Yeah, you done?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, I'm done.
Give me a warning if you have to cough. There's nothing wrong with that, but just like raise your finger so turn, because we don't have a cough button to push. Like at the fancy old-fashioned radios. You ever been in a real radio station studio, Vinny? Yeah, there's a little button built into the table. I could saw this table up right here and put in a mute button feature. But until then, just give me a little waggle of the finger, and then I can turn volume off like that. All right. So you kind of got it right. We are going to YouTube. We're going to the NEWSTALK614 channel on YouTube. Okay? And you can get there real quick by just going to ttrn.com. That takes you right to the page on YouTube where your show, The Red Line, will be streaming live. Okay? Say yes or no.
Yes.
Yes,
the
what?
Red Line will be streaming live.
Where? You're not listening. What's the matter, Vinny? Shh, wait a minute. What's the matter, Vinny? Come on. What's the matter? Uh-oh, he's going to say something.
No, I'm not going to say anything.
Not going to say anything?
No, I'm not going to say anything.
So if someone wants to listen to your show, The Red Line, on YouTube, they don't like using Facebook because it's not on their smart TV, but they like to listen to The Red Line, which today is going to be is it at 310 or 410 today? The Red Line is on newstalk614.com.
310.
At 3, right. So it'll be a non-Corby show version of Columbus Talk Radio. So are you going to be talking about restaurants or food?
No.
Are you going to be talking, and not that there's anything wrong with that. We did a food segment just the other day, but not all the time. Is your show the non-Corby version of The Red Line with Vinny on News Talk 614? Are you going to be doing a local Columbus talk show where you may be talking about who's going to be on Dancing with the Stars this season?
No.
No, you're not going to do that.
No.
Will you take calls if somebody's got a story? What do you remember when you got cable television, and how many channels did you first have on cable TV? Give us a call. You're not going to do that.
No.
So you're going to do a local talk show in Columbus where a person could call in and say, I can't believe what the sheriff did. There's no way he should have won his election. For him not to cooperate with the federal government like that is an outrage, especially here in Ohio, where we're dealing with this problem over and over again. What do you think, Vinny? And I appreciate your show. Is that the type of call you might take?
Yeah, that
So
could be the type of call
there will
I
be
could take.
it'll be live in local talk in Columbus at 3:10 p.m. Right?
Yep.
And you're not going to talk about food,
No.
restaurants to visit,
No.
the best burger. It's unbelievable new place in town in the short north.
Probably not.
Probably not. And you're not going to talk about who's on Dancing with the Stars.
No. Look, I'm going to
Just
talk about
important
real
stuff.
issues, important stuff.
Going on here.
Yes. Important stuff happening.
So would I go out on a limb too that say, you'll be here in Central Ohio on the flagship, the very first Ohio local station, part of the News Talk Ohio cluster of online stations that TTRN's developing. In fact, if you want to do a show like Vinny's The Red Line, the thing to do is send us an email, because we like people like Vinny as opposed to professional broadcasters. You know why? You know why we like to get somebody to do a local show in Ohio? Do you know what we view as more important than having a professional broadcast experience? What does TTRN want if somebody like you wants to do a show? They're just looking for
Passion
for the format, for the art, really, that talk radio is. Because you've listened to talk radio for 30 years. I've listened to talk radio for 30 years. And why? Because it's informative, but it's fun and enjoying to listen to, right?
It's enjoyable to listen to, and it's the last bit of free speech that we have left. It really is, because they're trying to take our freedom of speech away every day. Talk radio, still, you can get out there and you can get a message out there.
And you know what it's like? It really is the last version of the town crier.
Town crier.
Yeah, remember back in the colonial days, if you had an opinion, you went downtown and you put your soapbox up, or you stood there and you said, the king yesterday in Richmond, Virginia ordered a brand new tax, and as Washington continues to suffer in New York. That was the talk radio guy of your town.
The only difference is it was just people within screaming range that could hear you.
And, well, it's kind of like what local discussion has gotten to. When you look at big commercial radio stations in mini markets, it's become so fractured. Companies are either only going to put on a national town crier like a Hannity or something that they could get for free or even make money on by selling local commercials during that program. Or if they do a local talk, it's at the really important parts of the day when radio, talk radio should be live and local 24/7 if possible. The only reason it isn't is because of money and because of not wanting to offend anybody or get in any trouble with federal regulators. And so those town criers aren't allowed to let you call in and talk about the corrupt sheriff in your city, or the state representative that got arrested for drunk driving with a gun on the seat, and his local grand jury just gives him a misdemeanor charge for the drunk driving. And you can't talk about that on local radio anymore. Basically, there might be some individual shows like Dave from Powell, who mixes motorcycle entertainment news and politics together. You can't do that full time, 5 days a week for 4 hours a day. It's too dangerous for these companies. You know what I mean? So we want somebody that recognizes that if they want to do a show like yours. Nobody can see you nod your head yes. You have to say, yeah, I agree with you.
I agree with you. I do.
Keep on.
I'm just kind of taking it all in right now.
It's absorbing.
I'm absorbing it.
So you can talk, though. This is the quietest Vinny has been. And probably the last 8 days he's been here. He's never been at a loss for where he comes through the door and he's instantly, so what do you think about that prosecutor? Why are they calling it a prosecutor? You know, it's really called a counsel. And did you know that Robert Mueller? And I'm trying to record stuff for the show and having to do it over and over. And now, Vinny from the Red Line is going to be on today at 3:10 p.m. with a non-Corby talk show in Columbus. But people can listen anywhere, right?
Yeah, people, you know.
Now use your loud voice now.
Now it's okay to use my outside
yes, because
voice,
you're very far from the microphone, since two of us have to cluster around this. Because we only have one mic. See, that if someone would just share a link to this News Talk 614 in a small way, they will be helping us get a second microphone. Now, because the more people watch and listen, the more money we make from the commercials on YouTube that stream. So we don't need we don't need you to send us $25 and we'll send you a coffee mug.
Yeah.
So people right now could click share and take part in the share-a-thon.
Share till it hurts.
And you'll get Vinny a new microphone.
Yeah.
So what is it you love about talk radio?
Well,
why do you want to finally, after 30 years, be on the other end and yell on the microphone and yell on the radio instead of at it? What does Vinny from the Red Line like about talk radio?
Well, what I like about talk radio is you can talk about things that are controversial, and you're not on TV. It's completely different because you're not hitting as many people, so you can be more honest. I really think you can be more honest, not being on television. You know, you can tell people your absolute view of something, even though you know a lot of people will disagree with it, because it's not millions of people that are hearing that. It's a small fraction of what's out there.
Well, and that's the point, you know. And one of the reasons why TTRN is doing these local area code news talk stations in Ohio is that, you know, to do an old-fashioned radio station, literally, if you wanted to recreate a WTVN and you were able somehow to get a commercial radio station license, or say if you wanted to buy a station like WTVN, its size, its equipment, its billing potential for money, you know, and you wanted to buy something like that, you're going to look at probably $15 million, $20 million in today's market. That's what a station like WTVN is worth, maybe even more if it's a bigger city. So in order to support that cost, they need to charge like $100, $200 for a commercial, you know, and have clients that will, you know, do 20,000, 80,000, six figures of advertising every year. With internet radio, we don't need 15,000 people listening all at the same time. You know, when I did the weekend show, which has lower listenership, some parts of the day you'll have, usually on Saturdays, there would be 5,000 people at any one time that were all listening at the same time. So it's like an audience of 5,000 people. Now, over the course of a 4-hour show, some people can listen all 4 hours, most can listen 20, 30 minutes, but when they leave, then another, you know, 1,000 or 2,000. So over 4 hours, a total of like 30,000 people might listen to one show. But there has to be 5,000 at a time. Internet radio station, literally, you can start for $2,000, or even cheaper if you just want to start. But you don't need $15 million. So we don't need an audience of 5,000 people listening at any one time to be able to make this worthwhile and to make money from it, from commercials and sponsors and advertisers. And we don't have to charge an advertiser $20,000 for a 1-year campaign or a 3-month campaign. We can say, you know, hey, for $1 a commercial or $2 a commercial, or if you want to sponsor our listener line, it's, you know, $400 for 3 months. It's not like $4,000 a month like you'd have to charge at an old-fashioned station just to cover your expenses.
It's basically, you know what? They're being a sponsor, and you know what? You know, if they're paying you $400 or $500 or $600 for advertising, that's pretty cheap in today's market.
The expenses and costs of doing an online talk station, which is finally enough people can actually listen to something online, almost as easy as listening in their car or to their stereo at home or their radio at home. Almost as easy. It's going to be as easy, and it can be if you get some special setups. But now it's viable to do an online station that only needs an audience of 500 instead of 5,000 to actually make and help people that love talk radio have an alternative. Because how many times, depending on the time of the day in the city you're in, especially Columbus, are you doing something where you'd like to have talk radio on in the background and like hear what's going on and what people in Columbus think, and you go, oh crap, Glenn's on that station and Gallagher's on the other one, and I don't like either of those guys that much. I know the red line on Vinny, NEWSTALK614's online is going to be on at 310, but right now I have nothing to really listen to. I'll go listen to CD 101, or I'll go listen to WLVQ, listen to some music. How many times does that happen to people in Columbus, do you think? A lot. It happens to me.
A lot. And I mean, if I'm in my car, I'll either have music on. If I don't have music on, I go over to 610 to see, and you know,
begrudgingly, and you're like, oh god, there's gonna be ABC News, and I hate ABC News now. I wish they hadn't switched. And then Glenn's gonna be on, and he's gonna be saying something crazy, or it's 28 after the hour. Rush is gonna go into commercial, and Rush isn't gonna be back on until I know at least after 10:35 or 1:45.
I mean, I have to live with Beck until noon until.
No, you don't. Not anymore. Not anymore. You should be listening to this show, The Hunt for the Truth with Dirk Thompson on NEWSTALK614.com. From the TeamTrump Radio Network, which is powered by the news magazine HuntForTheTruth.com.
And you're right, but I'm saying, I was making an example in my car. You know, I can get you in my car if I right on my phone. So I don't have an excuse now.
James Barefoot is online on he's watching the where'd his comment come up, on YouTube or Facebook? James Barefoot, he's got us on Facebook Live. Let's do a little have the Google monkeys do some investigation on James here. His nickname is Buddy. Hey buddy. See, James is great. James is the exact type of person that knows what a benefit it is to having an online talk station in their city. NEWSTALK614 is the one here in Columbus.
Most guys that have a nickname of Buddy, they're usually pretty good people. So
now, like,
I'd say,
if someone like sends me I don't know
okay.
how you do it, Vinny, but if someone sends me a Facebook request on my personal page, and you'll get a notice saying you have a friend request.
Yeah.
Well, when I go there, my personal page I'm nearing 5,000. I think I've got like 900 spots, or maybe 1,000 friends left. Because when you get to 5,000 friends, you can't add any more on Facebook.
Yeah, once you get past a certain point there.
So I have to be careful on who I'm adding. So when I have a friend request, I go in, and the first thing I look at is their picture that they have set on Facebook. You know, that first picture you see of somebody.
Yeah, when they're when you got their link right there.
Here, I've got 2 friend requests in.
Yep.
So you click on it, and I've got I look at the picture, okay, if you can make it out. Now, see, this guy's got. Can you see that from where you're at? That's Gene Simmons' makeup. You see that? Anybody that loves Kiss, it's Jesse McCurling. He's got 2 mutual friends, and I put my mouse over where it says we have 2 mutual friends.
And it tells you who his mutual friends are.
One of the friends is Jay Hyatt, who I know personally. So if one of your mutual friends is somebody that I actually know firsthand, and you've got Gene Simmons' makeup,
he's in.
He's in. There's no doubt about that.
He's in.
And that was by first looking at somebody's profile picture. Okay, it's like the picture on your driver's license. It's like your Facebook driver's license picture. You know what I mean?
Now I always get all the ones on mine where you got all these beautiful women on there, and they want you to be a friend, and you click on their page, and there's no information on the page.
And that's the thing. More so than looking for people that have a friendly Facebook profile picture that shows up on your timeline and in our friend request list, which we're into right now, is that's the first thing we scan for now. Is especially you guys, if you got one of those profile pictures where it's you wearing some badonkadonks with the top of the shorts unbuttoned, and you got your, your Brick Brothers tabbed collar shirt all bunched up and tied around your man boobs, and your button, the badonkadonks, is sticking out, guys. If that's your profile picture, we push that button right there, delete request. And the same goes for you ladies. I mean, if that's what floats your boat, like Vince. But we don't click on those, Vince. That's just like the guy with the Gene Simmons mask on his profile page got automatically confirmed. David from Muskahula, Tennessee, that's got his badonkadonks on and is sticking his little man boobs out, we automatically hit
delete request.
Delete.
You got to.
And if you're interested in the women, it's the same thing for girls, especially if they're from like the Philippines or Indonesia. Those are the worst because they can put viruses in your Facebook. That's what some people tell me.
With you being on the subject of this, it brought up something else that bothers me too. On my Facebook page, I have people that try to, and you know what? I'm not a prude, but people that post porn on my page, I really don't appreciate it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't have people that post porn on your page? You do?
Yes, absolutely.
You got to be kidding me.
It's like, you know what?
Don't you have it turned off so nobody can post on your page?
What I'm saying is,
like on comments and stuff? Where do they post the porn?
Well, what I'm saying is,
don't go to Vinny's personal page. It's full of porn.
What I'm saying is provocative photos and stuff. And the reason is,
No, but what I'm trying to get to is this is actually a problem on your Facebook wall.
It can be at times. It can be at times, and I've unfriended people over.
But don't you realize that you can turn off anybody being able to post on your wall? Or is this in the comment sections where people can post? I mean,
this is commenting.
Facebook has that feature where I can say share on Vinny's wall. I have that turned off, so it doesn't automatically go on my wall, even though Facebook, when you first sign up for Facebook, anybody can post anything on your wall. You've turned that feature off, right, Vinny?
What feature?
He's not listening again.
Well, I'm trying to explain to you what I mean. I'm not saying it's XXX. I guess I'm going out there, but it's
don't go to Vinny's stuff. Facebook page. He's got porn on it.
No. The point is, if I want to look at material like that, I can find it myself. I don't need any help, is what I'm trying to say.
But I've not had any porn ever posted on a comment on anything I put on Facebook.
I had a girl on there that was she was a mutual friend through somebody else.
Right.
I really wasn't friendly with her. She started putting all these half-naked pictures of women.
So why didn't you just block her?
And at first I hid the post, and I sent her a comment. Please don't post stuff like this on my Facebook page.
Right.
She did it again.
Well, did you think maybe it might not really be your friend, and it might be Sing Xiong Mei from Indonesia that's just hacking your wall and putting links to paid websites and advertisements and porn sites? Just block her.
And anybody that sees me post, if you see me post anything, I'm usually posting something about politics or sports.
God. So why don't you block the people, Vinny, that are posting the porn?
You know what, though? I solved the problem. If somebody posts something I don't like, I hit unfollow. I hit unfollow, and I take them off the page.
But even if you unfollow them, they can still paste in your comments. You just need to block them.
Yes. If it's an extreme situation, then I block.
Oh my goodness gracious. So anyways, I think we went down this wormhole by saying if you have a passion for talk radio And just like Vinny and I go on and on and on about a topic. By the way, give us a call, 805-727-DIRK from the V2SIGs.com listener line. Again, 805-727-DIRK, although we really want people to start using Skype, right, Vinny?
Skype and Google Hangouts. We got to get out of the Stone Age.
All right, so if I'm on the computer and I've got Google Hangouts, if I have a Google account and I go to hangouts.google.com, but it's the first time there, how do I call you if I'm on my smartphone or my computer? So you go to hangouts.google.com. You watch this too, Vinny, because you need to know how to do it, right?
Yeah,
or you want to?
I'm watching it right now.
Or do you want to try to tell people how to? You want me to walk you through it, or
you go? You
right.
go right ahead.
So the first time, and again, the first person this morning that calls us on Google Hangouts will get. You got that back there, Gertrude? You'll receive a special bonus prize. So if you want to be brave and you're going to go, man, Dirk talks about how he likes to get the calls on the internet instead of the old phone because it sounds so much better. It sounds like a studio microphone the listener is calling us with. Uh-oh, something just buzzed. It's Vinny, it's your phone. Maybe someone's calling you on Facebook. Oh, no, it's a regular phone call. All right, you can step away, go into the station green room, and deal with your business over there. Because what will happen is Vinny will start loud talking again. We get him on the microphone to talk about the Red Line show, and he starts not speaking at all, shaking his head, and when he does talk, Chad says you have to stop talking in a low voice when you come back, okay, Vinny? All right, so now he's gone. I can get up here and do a good show for you guys. Actually, let's first get in a break. There is a whole bunch of important stuff going on in the World Cult members. So dead serious about giving me a call. First caller, 805-727-DIRK. It is the V2 SIGs e-cig listener line. How about that? Remember, you get 10% off if you get that first starter kit. And you probably don't smoke, but I know you know somebody you wish didn't. For the cost of one carton of their smokes, maybe make them never buy another carton again. Get the most expensive starter kits at V2.com. They're less than the cost of a carton of cigarettes. Don't get the cheap ones that are half that amount. Just put out the $50 or whatever. V2.com, and then I will give you another 10% off. V2.com, just click starter, clicks, whatever's the most, click buy, put in your credit card, promo code DIRK, 10% off, and in 5 minutes or less, in a couple of days, your starter kit for V2.com, and get a loved one on e-cigs. It gives them the same feel and satisfaction of the old-fashioned cancer sticks, but it's just $50. Again, V2.com. Hey, we got a lot of stuff happening here, both on the Team Trump radio network and putting more Ohio area code news talk stations on, all with live and local shows. And we got a lot of new stuff happening here locally at NEWSTALK614, and all happens because of you. You come in once a day or so and you check out my show, The Hunt for the Truth, a little alternative for Glenn Beck. We've all become Glenn Beck haters, I think. One of the reasons we're doing the show right now, 10:10 a.m. to 2:10 p.m. And, you know, we were talking with the guy that used to be the program director at times was the best talk station that did local stuff in Ohio, and that's WSPD up in Toledo. We were talking about the former program director that made that station. The little success, but major success for Toledo that it was. Brian Wilson, and he was saying, you know, people even really don't like listening to Rush anymore because him, and I think he mentioned Michael Savage also by name. And I think Mike, out of the national guys, at least Michael's talking about something different. But Brian was saying these people that have been national hosts for dozens of years, they've become characters of themselves. They're still saying the same trite lines. Half my arm tied behind my back. my formerly nicotine stained fingers. Which, if you go to v26.com and get a starter pack for a loved one and get 10% off by putting my name, Dirk, in the promo box, that will get those fingers, as Papa Rush says, will become previously nicotine stained. But with e-cigs, you can still get the nicotine. Heck yeah. If you choose the juice for your vaporizer, and it's really like a medical vaporizer if you look at it that way, if you don't want to actually call it a cigarette-like device, an e-cig. All the nicotine you want. They've got, if you get 18 nicotine on the juice bottle, it's going to be as much nicotine in one of those full-blown, no-filter. Do they still make no-filter Camel cigarettes? You can get that much nicotine. Maybe if you or your loved one or friend that is still smoking the cancer sticks, maybe they're into like a Camel menthol light. So you can get like 12 or 14% nicotine when you first start using the flavored juice. And there's flavors too. You can get juice that will make the e-cig for your friend taste just like that Marlboro Red or damn close to it. But they got boutique stuff like strawberry Coca-Cola. It's delicious. It is interesting how much smell plays a part with that. But yeah, they got different. You want a appletini flavored juice for your e-cig? They got that. But they got menthol lights. If you want an e-cig that actually tastes like a cigar when you smoke it, or vape on it, I should say. We got legal terms we got to look out for. They've got cigar flavored juice. But, get these for your loved ones, and they'll get all the nicotine they want. And if you want to get off the nicotine, I mean, the nicotine does not cause cancer, pretty much. Unless, I think they may have given rats like a 5-gallon drum of nicotine and it died, just like with a saccharin experiment. But you can wean off the nicotine because nicotine is so addictive. So you could tell your friend when you hand them the starter pack, now this first batch of juice should last you about 30 days. When you're done with that, though, there's different flavors, and this level of nicotine is the same as the Camels you smoke, or it's the same level of nicotine as in the Marlboro menthol lights. And then you tell them, though, when you get your next order, if you do want to get off nicotine, I like to stay on nicotine. Nicotine to me is like caffeine, or caffeine and nicotine. You can say, then go to 12, and then go to 6% nicotine. I think it's 0.6, actually. And then they can go to even 0.2, and then in a 4-week period or a 3-month period, they're gradually off nicotine, but they're still getting the smoking satisfaction of that finger to mouth, puff out thing that so many smokers love. That's the main reason I liked smoking, is just, I don't know, kept my one hand busy. No Stephen Colbert comments. I did say we were going to get to a commercial, and I think I started talking now about all the new stuff happening here at News Talk 614. It's because of your support. Click on share, please. If you haven't already, click follow right up there at the top of our fan page on Facebook for News Talk 614. You may have already liked it, but really the share-a-thon, it's about not only sharing, but the most important thing for our Facebook page is you have to have activated following. If you scroll up right now, you see it up there where the blue button is like, and you've already liked us, then that's what it means when like is turned blue on the desktop version. Right next to that, there should be a blue button that says following. Now, if the button on your screen or your phone does not show that following has also been pushed on in addition to like, you have to push on the following, okay? And I think most devices, and I know all desktops, there will be a drop-down list. It should default for live notifications will be on. If not, turn on live notifications. And since we know most of you, about 70% of you actually listen and use Facebook on your phone, what will happen is once you turn on live notifications, when the Dano show starts at 6:10 a.m., you will get a buzz on your phone about 5 minutes before our shows begin. It can give you time to hook up to the stream, and if you're one of those people that likes to talk in the comment section, I got to get a shout out to Shirley. She's in Florida. So our first 2 states, actually, that have written in the comment box, either on the YouTube stream or the Facebook stream, have been from outside of Ohio, let alone Columbus. But we've always got Texas peeps are watching, and we always have Texas, Florida, and California. And California is interesting. When I'm up, some mornings I'll hang out with Dano on the Dano Show, which is on in Columbus from 6:10 until 9:10 every morning. There's a ton of California listeners, but those are people that are up in the middle of the night. Think about the time delay. And these are people, they're dissatisfied with, they used to love Art Bell, but ever since George Norrie took over Coast to Coast like a bazillion years ago, it's basically ghost stories, psychics, and Bigfoot. Art used to cover those topics, but it'd be like technology, organic science, physics, ghosts, then psychics, pseudoscience, a cool author of a book, Father Malachi Martin, shadow people, Bigfoot, space news. You see, there was a wider spectrum. But really, since George Norrie covers the Bigfoot, the ghost, and the psychics part, you're like, all right. Let me at least see who he's got on for an hour-long or 2-hour interview, and if he has nobody, he's going to do that stupid open phone. That's what California Team Trump members are stuck listening to. So they tune into the Dano Show in the middle of the night. So it's kind of weird. Dano this morning was talking about an alien conspiracy, which we did an in-depth research on when we started the Hunt for the Truth 21 years ago here in Columbus, but on, believe it or not, CD 101. Got huge into what went on historically at Wright Pat, which if you drive 80, right, Chad? If you drive 80 miles an hour down 70 and then the little loop around, you can get to Wright Pat in 35 minutes, at least where we are, high above Mount Thompson, and then in turn broadcasting from extremely high, the Levesque Tower in downtown Columbus, broad and high, looking out the window. You can see that in the State House. So anyways, so that's all moving and changing, and we seriously don't need any money from you, believe it or not. A bunch of people that said, do a crowdfunding thing. It's like, nah, maybe, but not right now. It's all about you sharing and just getting more people, not forcing them to listen to any of our shows. And Steve Boom Boom Cannon. He's on at 7:10 every night. It's the same Steve Cannon that used to be on the other station. I had to hit the cough button that we don't have. Where'd Vinny go, Chad? Vinny! He's the other. So Steve Cannon is live for a couple hours with more talk radio in Columbus, 7:10 p.m. And then the new show, he's been doing some little baby podcast every afternoon on the non-Corby version of a talk show, which is called The Red Line with Vinny. Where you been?
Just had a phone call.
That was a long phone call. What'd your attorney say? Are we going to sign the contract papers for the Red Line?
It had nothing.
See, he's whispering again. I told you he would turn off loud voice, normal voice Vinny again. To speak loudly like you do.
No,
there we go. Bring it up a notch. Come on, louder.
It had nothing to do with that.
Okay, now just down a little bit lower, right?
Oh, my God.
There you go. But remember, you got to talk up here because we only have one microphone that we need people. If 10 people do a share to a Team Trump group, I think because of the advertising dollars, again, not listener money, that we'll generate the $15 for another microphone.
And this is another reason why I don't like harassment in the workplace. I'm trying to learn how to do a job here, and he's just like, he's all over me.
It's because you don't pay attention. Sometimes you wander off, and I'll be saying, we're going to go to YouTube and get to your live show and make sure it's on, and it's on the NEWSTALK614 channel on YouTube. Now we're going to go there right now, and by then I'm looking at him, and he's looking at his phone. I'm like, where are we going? And you're like, YouTube. And why are we going to YouTube? And then you'll be like, to listen. But it's like, we go here, NEWSTALK614. And then we just click where it says live. We click there and we just listen, and it's on, so we can hear it there. And if you do that, if you go to the new YouTube channel, even if you're on, and YouTube's good because you've got one of those I like to call them tender loving care smart TVs, the TLC, but it's actually called what?
TCL.
No, you got to move up here.
TCL.
Perfect. Now see the microphone there? And if you're watching on Facebook Live, do we have video up on that, Chad? What? We have no video into the Facebook Live or the YouTube chat? What the hell are you showing people if they want to stare at their phone? Vinny, tell people, and you got to get up within 10 inches of the microphone, but tell them why they can go do something else. They don't have to stare at their phone.
Yeah, you don't need to stare at your phone. Just set your phone down and on the table or desk, wherever you're at, in your car there, and just listen to the show.
Now, Facebook sucks on the phone because if you minimize Facebook and then just go to your phone's main page, it turns off the show. Have you noticed that? Like if you're listening on your phone to my show, or
you got to hit it. It's like,
no, you have to leave it up. At least on my phone, if you get rid of Facebook or go do something else on your phone, then you're screwed. You can't look at YouTube or Google or anything because if Facebook goes away, the broadcast stops.
That's why you have the app there. That way you don't.
No, I'm talking about the app.
Okay.
You got your phone with you?
Yeah.
Go to NEWSTALK614.com to get to our fan page, and I'm going to show you because unless I'm wrong, and I think it happens on iPhone. Maybe you have an iPhone 805-727-DIRK, and let me know because at least listening on Facebook stinks because it won't listen in the background on my phone. So if I tune into NEWSTALK 614 on Facebook and then I click the live show, okay, and I start hearing it on my crappy phone speakers, on my phone, if I push the home key, and so the Facebook app closes in the background, and I just see, my calendar page and stuff where it's got the phone call, text message screen. If I do it on my phone, the sound from the show stops. So unless I use up my phone by just keeping it on Facebook to listen to one of our shows, it's a pain in the ass. But see if it happens on your phone. Is that the live link? All right, click on that.
Yep. Okay.
Let's see. My phone by just keeping it on Facebook. Okay, that's what it does on mine. But push your home key, like say you want to check and see if you have a text message. See? Look, listen. It stops. So for listeners on Facebook, it sucks. Because if you listen on your phone, you can't do anything else on your phone. You have to keep the app up. It's not like a like iHeart or TuneIn, or if you're listening to a podcast, because it plays in a separate player. So that's one of the reasons we are starting a live stream that is just an MP3 basically that will play in the same program that like plays iHeart or iTunes for you. Or runs a podcast.
That way you can do other things while you're doing it. Yeah.
If you have a Windows machine, this new stream of NEWSTALK 614 will play like if you have Windows and you use Windows Media Center. The default program is that Windows lets you use the player to watch movies and listen to songs. If that's the one you use all the time, when you listen to our new audio stream, it will just automatically start playing there on your phone or on your desktop. But especially for Facebook listeners, that it basically locks up their phone because if they do something else, they can't hear the show. They can't listen in the background like you'd like to do to talk radio. And then on your phone, if you're going to click on the audio stream, it will start whatever player that you listen to sound files on your computer or watch videos you've taken on your phone. You click the link, and then that audio player will start playing in the background, and then you can use Facebook or
you can do your other stuff. Yeah.
Check text messages. So that's the way to work around on that. We are still testing that out, though, because it's a little more difficult than we first thought. We're going to try to finish it today. So if you want to get an advanced test, though, on our Shoutcast, and we're going to be on iTunes, Vinny. Do you use iTunes to listen to any local internet stations?
I have before, but it's been
Remember, you got to be 10 inches from the microphone. So lean forward.
Oh, trust me, with this voice, they can hear me.
You're 15 inches away, a little bit. No, because you're using your low voice right now.
My low voice?
Yeah, see, use your normal loud voice and watch the meters on the mixing board.
What, like my...
There you go. See, that's your normal voice.
Ah.
So as long as you're talking and 2 lights are lit up on this mixing board, everything's set perfect. If it doesn't, then you're talking too low. Now, there's 2 ways to get it up to the right level. See how I lean in and it hits 2? You can either talk louder from being, 20 inches away like you are right now.
Or turn your volume up.
But if you do want to talk soft, you get closer to the microphone. And as long as you don't talk louder than 2 lights on the mixing board, you're fine. Now, I can go back here and just talk louder, but look at the lights. How many lights are lighting up on each side on the mixing board?
Yeah, you only have
2.
Yeah,
2. So you just keep. So that's what you have to learn. Go closer to the microphone. So whisper into the mic. Get right up here. Get 1 inch away. And watch the lights on the mixing board. Look down here. Look.
Yep.
No, you don't have to look at the mic. Just
I
look
see. Yeah.
No, don't look at the microphone. Vinny, don't look at the microphone. Just look at the lights. Come here, and then look at the lights when you talk. Don't look at the mic when you talk. So get up here where my hand is. Right?
Yeah.
No, closer. See my finger? It's 5 inches
Yeah.
from. Get right there. Up.
Yeah.
No, get closer.
It's hard
no.
to watch
No.
both at the same
Get
time.
closer. I want you to move forward to it.
Okay.
There you go. Now look at the lights.
Yeah. So, yeah. And
Now keep talking and keep watching.
yeah, it's going up to 2. Yeah, we
Don't
went
stop
over
talking.
this already.
No, I know. Stay up there and keep talking, then I'm going to tell you to do something. Come up here and start talking and look at the board. Talk.
Okay, so I'm looking at the board.
Now back up and start talking louder so you keep lighting up 2 lights. That's what I'm trying to get you to do.
So I'm looking at the board, and there.
Back up.
Okay, so
Back
it's
up.
yep.
Back up and keep talking, but you have to start talking louder. Now talk and make 2 lights come up. Go talk. Oh my God, talk.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Okay, now lean back and talk louder so you'll still be lighting up 2 lights.
Okay, so
There, perfect.
There.
See how you have to talk louder back
Yeah.
here? And then you can talk normal up here.
yeah.
So if you're going to talk normal, right up there. And you want to be a little boisterous, you're boisterous on the red line. That's what I love about it.
The boisterous there.
Nope, you got to lean forward if you're going to talk normal. Remember, lean up to here.
Well, I'll just talk loud then,
But it's
and I
so-
don't have to.
Oh my God! This is why we need a commercial break, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all good.
No. So you were having quite a spirited information session yesterday about how basically, and please, Vinny, the next time after I get done asking you this question, I seriously do need you to talk into the microphone, okay?
Okay.
Please,
Yes.
will you promise me?
Yes.
Say Dirk
Yes.
Thompson.
Dirk Thompson. I promise
okay,
to talk
right now.
into the microphone.
I want you to make this promise from how close you're going to talk. So get right up to here.
Okay.
Now, look at me. Say, I, Vinny,
I, Vinny,
promise
promise
to only have my mouth 2 inches from the microphone
to only have my mouth 2 inches from the microphone.
if I'm whispering and talking really low and sexy. Okay?
If I'm whispering.
There we go.
And,
Perfect.
Okay.
Now say, I, Vinny,
I, Vinny,
promise
promise
I will back up 6 inches from the microphone
I will back up 6 inches from the microphone
like I am right now
like I am right now
if I'm going to talk in my regular voice.
if I'm going to talk in my regular voice.
But if I'm going to get softer, okay, but if
I'm going to get softer,
now I want you to move forward
I'm
half
going
the
to move
distance.
forward. Okay. Yeah.
Right? Now say, I, Vinny.
Okay, I think
We got one more
think
pledge.
I got
That's it.
You're,
one, just one more
he's
pledge.
killing me.
One more.
He's killing me.
It's your last pledge. Say, I, Vinny.
I, Vinny.
If I'm going to use my really loud voice or I want to yell for effect,
If I'm going to use my really loud voice for effect,
I will lean back 1.5 feet.
I will lean back 1.5 feet.
Now let's try it. Say something loud and boisterous from right there.
You're killing me.
Now, see what happened? The light stayed the same. Do it again and watch the lights.
You're killing me.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, I just taught Vinny what it took me 3 months to learn in broadcast school. And ladies and gentlemen, in this business, that is what we call working the mic. Do you realize I just gave you about $1,000 in radio knowledge and saved you 3 months of learning to work the mic? Now you get up real close and say, thank you.
Thank you, Dirk.
Awesome. Now, don't forget, Steve Boom Boom Cannon does a real talk show like a professional. Oh, hang on a second here. His show is on at 7:10 p.m. every night. It's the Boom Boom Cannon Show. It's only here in Columbus at NEWSTALK614.com. It's part of the TeamTrump Radio Network, which we all know and love as TTRN. The Spring Share-a-thon is also going on as well. Mix. Stand by Boom Boom tonight at 7:10 and wake up in the morning with Dano at 6:10 a.m.
Boom Boom Cannon.
Needs the comfort and inspiration of religious faith, for it is faith which helps hold our families together, builds moral and spiritual character. And today, perhaps more than ever before, there's a need to turn to a way of life based on the enduring principles of religion. There are a great many programs of religious nature on NBC Radio, which you'll enjoy hearing this Sunday. Among them, The Art of Living, the National Radio Pulpit, Eternal Life, the Lutheran Hour, the Catholic Hour, and the Hour of Decision conducted by Billy Graham. These are but a few of the broadcasts that will bring you inspiration and comfort, not only this Sunday, but on the Sundays to come. Of course, the Easter message will be the highlight event this week. We know you'll enjoy hearing them as a supplement to your visit to the church of your choice. And when you do go to church this Sunday, take the whole family with you.
You have got an incredibly powerful communications device at your fingertips, and it comes in a camera that makes high-definition images and video. Now, your camera is a wonder of this period in development of those kinds of devices. We take it for granted generally, and not too many years ago, you would have required equipment costing tens of thousands of dollars, plus an engineering degree and years of specialized on-the-job training. Well, Terry Wilson has broadcast experience, both radio and television, and has been serious about the art of photography since the early 1960s. He holds certification as an adult education instructor with the State of Ohio Department of Education, and is also certified in forensic videography. If you want to learn how to fully take advantage of your device, I suggest Terry will make it easy for you. See his work and get his help at terrywilson.com. Certified in forensic
Morning, afternoon, and night. It's all local. It's all live with open phones. We have been listening. We have heard your felt. Your solid voice will be heard. Return of live and local political talk and discussion. Streaming live and online at NEWSTALK614. Live, local, and connected. Live open phones for Columbus 24/7 now. 805-727-3475. Powered by the news site magazine Hunt4TheTRUTH.com. The TeamTrump Radio Network. TTRN. Serving Ohio, high above the left tower. This is the live and local talk station. News Talk 614. Boom, boom, here's Steve Cannon.
Radio Rampage, developed by TerryWilson.com. Develop your skills with Terry Wilson, photographer.
NEWSTALK614.com. Let's begin.
You have called the Division of Police. If you are calling about police matters other than needing a dispatcher, please press 2 for a directory of frequently requested departments.
This is
Columbus Police.
Hunt for the Truth.
Tech 44.
I'm worried about my country. I love my country, and I feel like it's going to you know where.
We're fired on. Dissent is patriotic. Revolt against socialism and Marxism. Do not quit. Do not stop. Don't be discouraged. Be strong. Do not lose belief. Be steadfast. You are a citizen of the most powerful force of good on this creation, the United States of America. USA, 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 USA.
Dirk Thompson.
Hey, it's the Hunt for the Truth. It's Dirk Thompson. We got to find out what's going on in the world, which is the important thing as we tune in every day just after 10:10 a.m. Okay, sometimes it's a while after 10:10 a.m. But we usually do a pre-show stream where, you know, I'll talk about more of the stuff going on and, you know, thank you for getting there early by 10:10 a.m. But we always have to find out what's going on in the world. It is a must-do on the Hunt for the Truth. Maxine Waters, when I woke up this morning, usually you see those Maxine Water sound cuts, you know, where she's saying impeach or some other Looney Tune conspiracy theory about Donald Trump. She actually, Morning Joe, that Morning Slow show, gave her like an entire segment right off the bat, early in the morning, to kick off the 7 o'clock hour. Listen to this rambling. This is only like a third of the time or a quarter of the whole interview she did on Morning Slow. But Sam Stein finally gets the question her. If you could see this video and just watch, Sam Stein's face is like, it's painful to watch. Sam Stein is like, what in the hell are you saying? Answer my damn question, you crazy impeachment woman. But Maxine Waters was given the honor and respectability, if you want to call it that, of being on Morning Joe for 20 minutes. Here's a portion.
Multiple Councilman. Curious about the timing and the politics of this impeachment question. We remember from Watergate that you have a grand jury investigation.
Yes.
And then you have a referral of facts about unindicted co-conspirators that go to the House impeachment committee that's formed.
Yes.
The Republicans control the House now.
That's right.
They control it by a substantial majority.
Yes.
Realistically, aren't we talking about any possibility of impeachment debate seriously coming in 2018 after there's a new Congress? Or do you think this should be an issue in the 2018 midterms, that's what Democrats should run on?
Well, I think it's an issue now. And I think that the Republicans who have been cautious, many of whom are worried, but not ready to step forward, recognizing that they have to be concerned about their re-elections, etc., they won't be able to stand with this president when we unfold his connection to the Kremlin and what they were involved in, which we and I consider to be collusion. I think it's going to be borne out. And I don't think that any Republican, even, moderates or conservatives who love America and who consider themselves patriots, they cannot stand with this president when it appears he has participated in undermining this democracy. They're going to have to fall. That's what I believe.
You keep mentioning collusion. Yes. I want to define what you mean by collusion, because what you're talking about seems more circumstantial to me. Bank records, perhaps contacts that were of a nebulous nature. Who knows why Flynn was talking to the Russian ambassador? It seems to have been about sanctions. Collusion to me is very specific. It means that the Russian government or actors within were trying to elect Donald Trump. But I want to know what collusion means to you, because that seems to be the standard by which you're saying he should be impeached.
Yes, absolutely. I am talking about strategies that were developed working with the Trump campaign. I really do believe that much of what you saw coming out of Trump's mouth was a play from Putin's playbook. I think that when you saw him absolutely calling Hillary crooked, the lock her up, all of that was developed. I think that was developed strategically with people from the Kremlin, with Putin, and I think it's more than bank records. I think that you can see that visits, to Moscow were made during the campaign by Manafort and others. I think it's a lot more absolute.
So you think the Russian government developed the talking points for the Trump campaign?
I think that there was a cooperation in developing strategy about how they could ensure that Hillary Clinton was not elected. They need Trump. Trump will be there to support lifting those sanctions. That's what they really want to happen. They want to drill in the Arctic. Tillerson has negotiated a multi-billion-dollar deal with Exxon to do that drilling. They can't get the equipment, the supplies, and all that they need until the sanctions are lifted. They want Trump. Not only will he support lifting those sanctions, he also will turn a blind eye to the expansion that Putin is trying to do. He does not care about them having invaded Crimea, and he does not care whether or not this egotistical maniac Putin is attempting to reunite the whole Soviet
I know we need to go
Union.
soon, but just to be clear, there has been no actual evidence yet.
No, it has not been.
Okay, I just want
No,
to
it has not. And I want you to know, every time I've talked about impeachment, I've said we've got to connect the dots, we've got to get the facts, we've got to do the investigation. That is what leads to impeachment. And I also said that Trump will lead us right there.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it right there,
That's
too.
a certain kind of leadership.
Congresswoman Maxine Waters, don't hold back next time. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
It's so great to
Oh,
see
no,
you.
please, Chad.
We've been at it
Just
for 2 hours,
oh
and
my
we've
God. Yes,
only
we have been at
scratched
it.
the surface on all these stories.
no.
The president tweeting just now, quote, "This is the single greatest witch hunt of a politician in American history."
Yeah.
Maxine, your reaction?
I would agree.
Well,
This is the single, just kill
we
it, Chad.
find-
This is the single greatest witch hunt in politics ever. Although there was a bunch of skullduggery going on after Washington's presidency and how people fulfilled the role of president for at least 20 years after that. A lot of, you think our media is bad. There was, and I know some of the minor details, but I'm betting, I mean, for crying out loud, we had Aaron Burr and that other guy going to a shootout with each other. So things have been bad in the past. And like during the whole 60s Civil War stuff in the 19th century, you had that caning. I can't remember if it was a senator caned a congressman or a congressman caned a senator, or maybe it was some senator on senator action. Vinny's here from the Red Line. He's got pornography on his personal page he shared with us last hour. So was it a senator on senator action, or was it a little mixed up senator on congressman action with that caning that happened in the U.S. Capitol building?
You know what?
Do you remember? I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
But you remember the story. He almost beat him to death.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the story.
I mean, some bad stuff happened before. But for the modern day presidency, say from the time the global elite banking system really got its fingers in the oligarchies around this country with the, quote, fake passage of the federal income tax. After that, we've been down a shithole ever since then. So in this time period of 100 years, I think President Trump's right, and that this is the biggest political witch hunt ever since the 20th century. Ever since 1900, basically, this is the worst political witch hunt. Because I can't speak for the 1800s or the late 1700s. So he's right. Trump is right. Once hashtag Trump is, he's right, right?
He's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it is a witch hunt. You know what I want to see? You're talking about senators and stuff. I want to see a cage match between Chuck Schumer and Tom Cotton. I want to see those two duke it out.
Well, didn't they already do that like a few weeks ago?
Tom Cotton had to be restrained.
Chad, go find that cut of them. Keep going. On the Senate floor.
He had to be restrained. He told Cotton, Where have you been the last 10 years? I've been in Iraq getting my ass shot off.
I remember
That's what
that.
he said.
You want to see more of that, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Chad actually did his work today, and he's got the audio. Wait a minute. What is that? I'm not hearing anything, Chad. Don't hear it. Nada. Nothing. You have it muted. Thank you. Oh, it's muted, Chad. Start it again. All right. Chad is not doing his job, Vinny. He doesn't produce the Red Line show, does he, at 3:10 p.m.? We've got the other producer doing that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
About now between Senator Tom
Here we
Cotton
go.
of Arkansas
Good job,
and Senator
Chad.
Schumer, where Cotton really kind of confronted him to say, hey, you promised that you were going to hold this vote. You didn't hold it. Schumer apparently said back to him, well, where were you 8 years ago when we were trying to get through all of President Obama's nominees? To which Cotton replied, quote,
all right, Chad, you got to
ago,
stop. See, that's a failure on Chad's. What did Chad fail to do on that cut?
And
he didn't get the audio. He got just the story.
Well, one thing that I want to make sure I say, I did make an error here. It wasn't in Iraq. He was in Afghanistan. So one thing you'll notice I'll do if I make a mistake on something, and it wasn't 10 years, it was 8 years. He said, where have you been the last 8 years? He said, I was getting my ass shot off in Afghanistan. So I wanted to correct that out of respect to Tom Cotton.
Chad says he does have the correct audio of them actually having the exchange and not just a news story about it. But do you think we should trust Chad, Vince?
Yeah, you know, Chad's kind of like me. He's a little slow.
Right.
But once you get him going, he's okay.
Do you play?
Chad, you're playing something else. That's not them fighting. I don't know what he's doing.
You know, he beats on Chad
you know
so hard.
It's the website. It's one of those websites like NBC4 here in Columbus. You go to their website at Channel 4 here in Columbus, and it starts popping up and automatically. That's the worst online ad I hate is one that plays audio automatic. You play video fine, but these commercials that come up like when you go to Channel 4 and all of a sudden you're hearing something, you're going like, "What is that?" I hate that. What do you think?
I don't like it either.
Hey, give us a call. What do you think about Channel 4's website with all those pop-up ads? Call us on the V2.com listener line right now, 805-727-DIRK. Now, if you live in Obet, you got to figure out how to spell it yourself, 805-727-DIRK, the V2.com listener line. Does Channel 4's website suck now that they have all of those pop-up commercials that try to take over your screen before you can get to the story? Because, Vince, I hate them.
They're trying to brainwash you. That's what they're trying to do. Brainwash you. Yeah, and by the way, I will be talking about that this later on this afternoon in my show, the brainwashing of America. I've got some good topics today.
Tell people, he summed up this whole argument about Trump telling the Russians about the bombs that ISIS might be able to do on airplanes. You summed it up best when he did a whole, I think his opening monologue, how was, if you don't look at all the bullshit in this argument, and he did this, or he said that, or this person could have proved that. The bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you end the argument. And Brian Wilson the other day said, don't come back with these lefties unless you have a verified response that will shut them down. And this won't, but it makes your point. You said yesterday, Vinny, on the Red Line, you said, basically it gets down to this. If the President of the United States had done what the liberal left in the media is saying is now an impeachable offense. And what is it? They say that he should not have told the Russians about the top secret information they had about the new threat from ISIS. And if you've flown like me internationally recently, you know that they now pay attention or sometimes require you to put now, at first was your smartphones, but now it's laptops. Twice now I've had my phone wiped down for explosives. And that's what Trump told them and gave them a little more details to help them stop this. So if Trump had not done that, then by common sense, you pointed out, the left would not be calling for his impeachment. So basically, the left would like to see potentially hundreds of Russians die, like already happened in the Sinai Desert on a Russian tourist trip out of Egypt. How many times have you flown to frickin' Cozumel and everybody on the plane's going there, having a good time? Those are the people that already died from an ISIS bomb. So you people on the left, basically you're saying if Trump hadn't done that, there'd be no need to impeach him, although we might have hundreds of fun-loving tourists in Russia laying in fields and forests and bodies of water with their dead bodies, just like you like to kill babies. And what is abortion? It's child sacrifice. That's what Vinny said on the red line yesterday, and I totally... Okay. I did it a little more from a bitchy yelling, and you didn't throw in the abortion as a child sacrifice, did you?
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that.
But that's the point. The far left is saying if Donald Trump hadn't done what he did, they wouldn't impeach him, and then we'd have maybe dead Russians falling out of the sky from airplanes blown up by ISIS. That's what they say Trump should have done, right?
Yep, that's exactly what they're saying. You know, it's if Trump came out right now and said that he wanted to ban guns, you know what the Democrats would do?
They would find out something that was impeachable about that.
They would either find something that was impeachable about that, or they'd say, "Oh no, you can't take our guns away. What are we doing?"
No, you know what he would do, what they would do? Trump is only seizing everybody's guns simply to make this impeachment and not letting the Russians know about ISIS so Russians would die. He's just doing this gun collection thing to stop the impeachment. This is really not real. If President Trump, did this, honestly, that'd be one thing. But he's doing this purely to just change the topic. So even though, grabbing everybody's guns is good, the president shouldn't do it at this time. Now's the wrong time to gather up the guns.
Oh, my God, you're killing me. I can't take it anymore.
That's what they do. Oh, wait a minute. We have... I just got a note from our research department. We've got a breaking news story. Hang on one second. Chad's got new music to play for such a thing. Let's, all right. Hey, we got breaking news. Stand by.
NEWSTALK
614.
This is a Team Trump radio.
Oh, you know what? Chad, the beginning of that is not loud enough. Yeah, I don't think anybody heard your new piece of art. You haven't even heard this, have you, Vinny?
No.
All right, this is something new for right now, when we've got a breaking news alert. Go ahead, Chad, play your little fun thing you made playing around on the computer last night.
NEWSTALK
614.
This is a Team
news,
Trump
news, news.
radio.
You gotta make that louder, Chad, but pretty good idea. Oh, you see, it sounds like a little news sound effect. I don't think people can hear it online, though. Hang on a minute. It's not coming up for people online. Maybe it's too low. Chad, I think you made everything too low. I don't think the people in the facing space are even hearing this. I don't see it coming. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Yeah, you got to make that a whole lot louder, Chad. So, Vinny's got the breaking news. What is the breaking news right now, this hour?
Okay, breaking news here on Sheriff David Clark. And I'm reading the headline to you here. Why Sheriff Clark will be a disaster in his new job according to his predecessor.
Wait a minute. Wait. Shouldn't the headline just be David Clark, the sheriff of Milwaukee, has now taken a position and accepted the job of blah, blah, blah in the Department of Homeland Security? Shouldn't the headline just state the facts, and then if they want to editorialize, do it differently?
Well, that would be what a normal, credible newspaper would do. But that's not what the left does. The left has to say he's a disaster. In fact,
what's
plain awful.
What's the next? Oh, my gosh.
Sheriff David Clark Jr., a controversial law enforcement official known for his outlandish remarks and fatal detention practices, announced Wednesday that he would be...
Did they just say fatal?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
He announced Wednesday that he would be appointed as an assistant secretary within the U.S. Department of Homeland Security in June. So, in June, Sheriff David Clark is going to be working for Homeland Security.
So that's the real story.
That's the real story.
A gentleman very popular in the conservative and Tea Party movement, and those that want to follow the rule and law and the Constitution of this country. David Clark, who many people thought would have some position in the White House and had been disappointed that he either hadn't accepted one or had not been offered one. David Clark, now in the Department of Homeland Security as the what, Vince?
As the assistant, he'll be an assistant secretary. So he's going to assistant secretary within the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. So it sounds like he's, he's an assistant secretary. He's not a head, but it's a high-ranking position here.
So that's the real news.
Yeah. Now this here, being an appointment, he probably doesn't have to be elected for that, does he? He's appointed to that position. That's
that someone this morning on the fake news was saying that one of the problems with the Trump administration is he hasn't even filled all of his deputy positions in the departments across the government. And I'm like, yeah, Chuck Schumer's holding up those appointments.
Well, it's not only that. He also said that he doesn't feel he needs all these positions filled. He thinks some of them are a waste of money.
Maybe that's one of the ways he because there's a lot of people he cannot fire because they're in the unions that work for the federal government. So maybe one way is he doesn't add people back to these positions, and he doesn't go out and recruit new people and just waits for people to retire. And that's how he's going to, in 8 years, then federal government would be, you got to think in 8 years, at least 10% or 15% of a workforce is going to retire or quit because they get a better job, right? It's probably 30% in 8 years will not be there, or even more depending on the industry.
Yeah, I mean, they're spinning it that he's incompetent and can't keep up with it. But I know from what I've seen, he's going a million miles
Maybe
an
that's
hour.
how he does it. He gets around not being able to fire federal employees by just doing a hiring freeze. And after 8 years, there's going to be 30% less employees, and that will cut federal government waste on the swamp. Is that what is he that brilliant to look that far down the chessboard?
I think he's that brilliant, but boy, I tell you what.
That's what people don't understand. He is that brilliant. He plays the long game. Seriously, Benny, in his hotel businesses, he would, not look at making a profit for years down the line. I'm going to sink, $500 million into this project, and it's going to cost me X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to lose X, Y, and Z for the next 5 years. But in the long run, I'm going to recoup that $500 million and make another $500 million. I think that's what he's doing.
And if you look at some of the properties that he sold, he had one property he bought for $28 million. And then turned around and sold it for 80-something million. When you're making 3 to 4 times your investment, that's a good businessman. That he made a good buy on that to make that kind of profit. Plus, they're paying top money for this. You can't appraise. It's almost impossible to appraise places like that. It's almost as if it's a small market. Stuff that's 28 to 100 million. So, I mean, real estate like that. So it's pretty much you put what you want for it, and what somebody will pay, that determines what it's worth. And that's how it works with a lot of this multi-million-dollar real estate.
David Clark, who you and I just 2 days ago were saying needed to do something in this administration, although why does David Clark wear his dress uniform everywhere? Do you think he sits around in his living room just chilling and going to go watch some Hulu or some Netflix? David Clark's sitting there. He may take the tie off, but he's still sitting there with all his medals and everything.
David Clark, and I don't know all of his history before sheriff, but he reminds me almost like a drill sergeant to a degree.
Chad reports that there is no playable audio of Cotton and Schumer having the exchange. He found one audio track of it, and it's just too low to sound good over the airwaves here on NEWSTALK614.com.
Because they took it off there. They don't want it on there. They don't want it on there.
Why are the Tom Cotton videos bitching out Senator Schumer? Why is Google and Facebook removing them from the internet?
Because it would make Schumer look bad, and the left can't have that.
Now, see, people, that's completely not true. That's one of those things where you go overboard, and Google did not remove any clips of the audio of those two fighting on the Senate floor because, I mean, you can get that if you Google around. But no, what they do remove, though, is Pizzagate videos. Vinny, seriously, most people in the general public think this Pizzagate thing is just crazy. Well, remember that gunman that went to the pizza place? They did that for effect, to make people like you, give you another reason to think Pizzagate is a big old fat story like any other issue that's a conspiracy theory. No, but Pizzagate is real, and Vinny, we did 3 10 to 15 minute long with links to the verifiable information, news stories, websites, books that have been written in the past, all laying out evidence of Pizzagate. And for a 10-minute YouTube video and a broadcast with all of the clips and images, 15 minutes takes about 8 hours of work on our end. So I spent a total of 30 hours, and the folks down in the art department at Hunt4TheTRUTH.com, literally 30 hours making these 3 15-minute shows about Pizzagate, and all it was doing was laying out verifiable evidence. YouTube took them down. Now, they leave up other Pizzagate videos that aren't factually based, but my videos and 3 other people that are in other groups working on Pizzagate info, we've all had our videos removed by YouTube.
They got leaned on. Someone leaned on him. I wonder who that would have been.
Probably the person that shot Seth Rich, or the people that bought an MS-13 gang member in D.C. to go shoot Seth Rich.
Don't get me started on Seth Rich. Don't.
You actually did a segment on him the other. So tell people, what about Seth Rich?
Well, and I'm gonna touch on that again today because unfortunately the transmission didn't go over well when I was doing it yesterday. But Seth Rich.
Oh, by the way, we still need our first phone call, right?
Yes, we do.
But we want it on Skype or Hangouts. Sarah, I mean, a lot of you people here say call us on the internet stuff. We really mean it. There's really no use. And it sounds like crap if you call on the phone and our switchboards aren't equipped for really. I mean, we can do regular phone calls, but it's a pain in the ass for everybody. And it might be a pain in the ass for you to first call me on Facebook Messenger, but it's simple. Just click either the picture of the phone or the picture of the video camera, either one of those, and you'll buzz right into the studio, and we won't have to deal with that v26.com listener line, which is 805-727-DIRK. But first call on either line. What do you think about Seth Rich? But Vinny, I want you to basically, if nobody was listening, well, we know 1,000 people checked out your second show. Congratulations.
You're kidding me.
1.2 thousand people watched The Red Line, 3:10 p.m. today on Newstalk 614. But you talked about Seth Rich. Lean into that microphone.
Yep.
Nice and close. And tell people what you told us yesterday about Seth Rich.
What I was going over with Seth Rich. Seth Rich, this is the DNC staffer that was murdered here recently, and he's also the leaker. He is the leaker that leaked the information to WikiLeaks about the DNC. And when Seth was murdered, they left his cell phone, wallet, keys. Now, they try to pin it as a robbery gone bad. And he died, and according to the police reports there, he died a couple hours later, I guess. So he was alive for a while and then died later. And I didn't read exactly what all the injuries were that happened. But he was the one who leaked everything. And from what I'm reading here, and I'm not going to say this is 100% accurate, but everything I'm hearing is he was a Bernie supporter. And when he basically came across the information that Hillary and the DNC was trying to rig the election so Hillary'd win, he had that information and he had access to the information through the DNC servers there. He basically got it. There was 44,000 and some change emails. And You know, people wonder why didn't he just bring this to the FBI? That's the first thing people say. Why didn't he bring this to the FBI? He couldn't bring it to the FBI because Comey is a Clinton surrogate. Loretta Lynch is a Clinton and Obama surrogate. So if he gives it to them, they're going to squash it. That isn't coming out. So he says, well, I'll give it to WikiLeaks. They can leak it everywhere. And then that way I can still get it to my base of Bernie supporters, letting them know what they're doing. And at the same time, excuse me. Sorry about that. But then he could leak it out that way rather than through the DNC. And Seth Rich, I want to say he was in his 20s. This guy wasn't this old. And, I mean, you're talking a low-level person in the Democratic Party. So, it's not like he was a top-ranking member or anything, but he had access to the emails. And, when he found out that information, he wanted to get it out there. And, I mean, all the WikiLeaks stuff that was leaked, and Hillary Clinton's, all of her emails are out there. Now, will they ever come out? Will it ever come out? It may. A lot of that depends on Jeff Sessions. A lot of that depends on our new FBI director. A lot of that depend on that. But with Seth Rich, and they tried to say there's a robbery gone bad, that's a professional hit. When you don't bother to take his wallet that has his identification, credit cards, money, don't take his cell phone, didn't steal his car, that's a professional hit. And I'm going to talk about something later about the Clinton body bags. And Seth Rich is just another string of body bags that's happened since Hillary and Bill Clinton have been in politics. The body bags started during Whitewater, and there's still body bags. And I'll tell you, the biggest reason Comey didn't go after Hillary, he accidentally stumbled across his suicide letter. Said, whoa, I better not go there. So I'll go out and I'll humiliate her and tell her she was careless, but I'm not going to charge her. I'll make her look bad, but I'm not going to charge her. So there you go. And I kind of got off on a tangent there, but Seth Rich, like I said, that was the DNC staffer that was murdered. He's the guy that dropped all this misinformation of WikiLeaks. And that also proves that the Russians, and the Russians may have hacked information from us at one time, but they're not the ones that did this big hack over all the DNC emails. It was hacked on the inside by Seth Rich. So all this BS out there that the Russians hacked the election is nothing more than BS. That's what it is. So we hope you're enjoying the show today. I'm just doing a light filling in here for Dirk on the Hunt for the Truth. And don't forget to tune in to Dirk's show here at 10:10 or 10:15, whenever he decides to start. And you know what? The reason he starts late. There is so much information now between 8 to 10 that you've got to process all that information, and then you got to get on the mic at 10:15 and you got to sort it out and put it out there. And I'll tell you what, it's hard to do because there's so much information now. It gets out there so quickly. I mean, it's just amazing. Every second, there's a new article or something coming out. So, you know, to keep up on this stuff, like I said, it's definitely work. Oh, and Dirk is back.
And we've got more. Every 45 minutes, there's more breaking news. We got more breaking news coming out of D.C. now, and we're going to get a break-in. It's the Team Trump Radio Network, TTRN.com. Go to TTRN.com. It takes you to the YouTube live channel where you get live programming. It's going to be 24/7 in probably the next, hopefully, few days, maybe the next week or so. And you can also get every show when it is live on YouTube by going to TTRN.com. Make sure you click on subscribe. Because when you click subscribe and then click on the bell next to subscribe on YouTube, your phone will buzz when a show starts. Just like it does on Facebook Live. If you go to NEWSTALK614.com, click like, but then you have to click follow. You do that, and just like if you subscribe on YouTube and have notifications on Facebook Live, when you follow, your phone will also buzz. Another reminder, it is the Spring Share-a-thon, so during this break, take the time for you to do like, follow, share, but then share it with another friend in Columbus that is glad there's talk radio back on. And again, take advantage of the opportunity, 805-727-DIRK, and you get Gertrude's got a very special bonus prize if you video call us or even a voice call on Hangouts, Skype, or Facebook. Do it on Skype. We haven't had a Skype call yet today. Call newstalk614@gmail.com. Buzz us on Skype right now, but breaking news out of Washington. More. Penny, can you believe how much breaking news there always is?
Oh, it's insane, and especially with the left, they're getting out, they're spewing out their venom as quickly as possible.
So we're gonna get a break in. The share-a-thon's happening now. NEWSTALK614.com. Get in there and share. Should I tell the people what the breaking news is about, or make them wait, like the old radio trick? Let's do an inside information. The breaking news we're going to reveal after this break. This is just for you people watching live right now on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. For some reason, the deputy AG that approved, basically, the firing of Comey for behaving badly, is the nice way to put it, in the Hillary investigation, that guy has been called to the Congress to testify all day today. But this is the one the public needs to see and hear. He's going to be in secret testimony all day long. Is that a bunch of bullshit or what? Don't forget, new live and local talk at night, 7:10 p.m. We now have the Steve. And don't forget, coming up 7:10 tonight, we have got the Steve Boom Boom Cannon Radio Rampage, which is brought to you and developed by TerryWilson.com, photographer. Visit him today, TerryWilson.com.
Serving Ohio high above the Levant Tower. This is the live and local talk station. News Talk
614. I have to go find an ashtray for my V26.com e-cigarette. In fact, if you were like myself and tried the patch, tried the pill, the psycho medication, and hypnotism all at the same time like I did, and you still couldn't stop, these e-cigs, which look exactly like an analog cigarette, for you dummies, that means it looks just like a cigarette. These are the best. V26.com. If you buy an e-cig, Dan, at a gas station, you're buying an e-cig from a place that sells gasoline. Those are horrible ripoffs. With the V26.com, you get the tanks, you get the refills, and the thing that is the best and finally made me dive into e-cigs is the pull and the hit on this water vapor. exactly mimics like a drag on a Marlboro or a Camel Menthol or Cool.
My goodness. I wouldn't know.
It's V26.com. You can still get starter kits for Christmas. Give it to that loved one that's tried over and over. Give it a shot. They got 10% off on the starter kits. And Dan, today and today only, if they put in DIRK in the promo box at V26.com, they'll get an additional 10% off their order.
Wow, 30% off your order. Man, you can't beat that.
That's V26.com.
V26.
It's the Dano Show every morning, Monday through Friday, 6:10 until 10:10 on NEWSTALK614.com. You see what we're doing there, Dano?
I know what we're doing. We're tuning these guys up for some fun, man. This is going to be good. Man, it isn't that you want to wish ill to anyone.
Spring is nearly here, and many of our listeners will be getting out their gardening tools, their overalls or shorts to again try their hands at raising their own vegetables. For most of us, gardening is an enjoyable hobby, and it certainly is a great thrill to see the results of your work come out of the ground right before your eyes. In other lands, many people will also be watching their spring planting grow. CARE, the Cooperative for American Remittances to Europe, proposes to help meet that need with their new vegetable seed package. It contains 28 varieties of vegetables. In order for families in Europe to start planting, you should order the CARE seed package right away. Total cost, with delivery guaranteed, is $4. Send your orders to Nonprofit CARE, 50 Broad Street, New York, and help a family help themselves.
Wayne Brady for the Will Rogers Institute.
Hey, folks, I've got something that will truly revolutionize your life. It's called exercise. It will get you from here to there, allow you to spend time with your family and meet new people, cut inches from your waistline, and improve the quality of your life. Even help improve your self-image. Sexy. So when you've got to choose between moving around or lying on the couch, choose exercise. You won't be sorry.
For your free booklet, visit WRInstitute.org or call toll-free 877-957-7575 and find us on Facebook and Twitter.
With our American servicemen in many countries around the world, they have a wonderful opportunity to observe new customs and traditions. What might have seemed strange before is becoming pretty familiar to them. For instance, among the Mohammedans, to drink coffee with anybody is regarded as a sacred rule of hospitality, a token of peace. The berries are roasted over a charcoal fire. The coffee is allowed to boil 3 times. It's thickly sugared and served in very small cups.
Talk614.com.
You have called the Division of Police. If you are calling about police matters other than meeting a dispatcher, please press 2 for a directory of frequently requested departments.
This is
Columbus Police.
Hunt4TheTRUTH.
Tech 44.
I'm worried about my country. I love my country, and I feel like it's going to you know where.
We're fired on. Dissent is patriotic. Revolt against socialism and Marxism. Do not quit. Do not stop. Don't be discouraged. Be strong. Do not lose belief. Be steadfast. You are a citizen of the most powerful force of good on this creation, the United States of America. USA, 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 USA.
Dirk Thompson.
Going forward for the White House, for the agenda, there is short-term relief that they might not have to deal with those questions, or can at least say, hey, look at Bob Mueller, go talk to him instead, not us. But I think the other important issue here is there's no question about it. On a bipartisan level, there are still a lot of questions that Capitol Hill lawmakers feel like they need to be answered. These investigations are continuing, and of note, Kate, Rod Rosenstein, Deputy Attorney General, the individual who wrote the memo that Trump officials cited and then kind of moved away from and then cited again for the firing of Jim Comey, will be on the Hill in a classified briefing for the entire Senate at 2:30 today, briefing the entire House tomorrow morning. There are more questions than there are answers on this whole scenario here. Expect those to be asked today, Kate.
No, there is no shortage of things going on right now, Phil. Break out the flow chart. I really appreciate it, Phil. Thank you so much. So little to discuss. With me right now, CNN Chief Political Correspondent Dana Bash is here, CNN political analyst and national political reporter for the New York Times, Alex Burns, CNN legal analyst Mark O'Meara is here, and former CIA analyst Neda Bakos is here as well. All right, friends. Dana, let's talk first about the reaction we heard this morning from President Trump. His two tweets calling this the single greatest witch hunt of a politician in American history, and criticizing that no matter what Clinton or Obama did, they didn't have any special counsel appointed. And as Phil's talking about Rod Rosenstein going to the Hill, this leads me to believe, so last week Rod Rosenstein was the respected reason behind firing James Comey, and today he is now the driving force behind a witch hunt.
Exactly. Well, which should not be a surprise, given the sort of behavior that we've seen of the president on this issue, particularly on Twitter. But look, I think at the end of the day, the fact that he's lashing out at the notion of a special counsel should not be a surprise, since I think he realizes that this could be really bad news. Now, it could be really good news.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Bob Mueller, who has so much respect, has the best reputation. If he, at the end of the day, says there's no there, that would be the biggest gift to the president. No, much more so, let's be honest, than the investigations that are less sterling, as Bob Mueller's likely will be. But he also understands, I think, recent history, or at least he's been told about recent history, which is never mind the Ken Starr special prosecutor that started out as a land deal and ended up with impeachment of a president. But even during the George W. Bush years, the last time we've seen this, and it was in 2003, the question into who the identity of Valerie Plame, who was a spy, that ended up in the conviction of the person who had been Dick Cheney's top aide, Scooter Libby. And so
there you go, folks. News Talk 614, man, that knows everything. It's the Hunt for the Truth. That's your breaking news. We shared it with some of you cult members that were watching on Facebook Live before we went to the commercial break on the TeamTrump Radio Network, powered by the news site magazine, Hunt4TheTRUTH.com. And I said this when they had Sally Yates testify in front of the committee, where we could actually see and hear what she said. Multiple times. It was like she was claiming the Fifth Amendment when you see people do that. She was like, well, I can't answer that here in public. That's a secret session thing. That's a secret session thing. Oh, can't talk about that. That has to be in secret session. And I said at the time, no, I want her to tell us what she can't say in the secret session. Oh, by the way, Vinny from the Red Line, which is coming up at 3:10 p.m. today on NEWSTALK614.com. I mean, don't you think... I said after Sally Yates, I said Trump should review what she's claiming she can't talk about in public. And then as the president, unclassify that. Because we the people need to hear this shit. This is too much of a danger and too important, don't you think, for them to have so much secret testimony?
Yeah.
Because we need to know what the Republicans and the Democrats know on these committees. Because I can't trust hardly any of them from either side. There's too many swamp dwellers on the Republican side.
The secrecy just makes it just makes you question it even more. So if all this information's so sensitive and you can't talk about it here, why is it that none of this has come out?
Yep.
Why are there no charges on the president yet?
Yep.
Why?
Or at least one piece of real evidence. Everything they're mentioning about Trump is not even close to being verified evidence, but they're making up and stating facts that are out of context or haven't been verified and then stating them as facts. I mean, we've been hearing Trump colluded. Trump has been colluding. Trump is... No. It's like he's being accused of colluding, but these people and even people on their side, like Clapper, have said repeatedly Vinny just noticed I was talking too loud. Yeah. Good job. High five on that. Yeah. But there's not one single shred of verifiable evidence. Something should have happened by now. And now they're just going to continue this by bringing in a swamp insider. I mean, talk about an insider. We're talking Robert Mueller, Clinton, Bush. I mean, come on. And he covered up as best he could some of the details. You can't say he covered up the Penn State child sex trafficking scandal, and it was, because we know for a fact that Sandusky was, talking about boy sex and helping other people and had relationships with other people in the elite that have also been convicted of child sex stuff. And Mueller came in and made a bad situation as best he could, wouldn't you say, Vinny? I mean, he had to bust him for Sandusky. But if you go read his report and media accounts at the time, people kept saying and showing that, there was this tiny little detail about Sandusky and sharing online with this one person, but it was not a big deal, and how we know Paterno and his staff at least knew about the child sex and covered it up. And Mueller's report just gave that the soft touch, Vin. He did the best he could, and that ties him to Pizzagate, which basically is the global elite political classes and business classes, this elite circle of maybe 1 million or 500,000 people worldwide, with probably 20 or 30,000 here in the United States in our elite circles, engage in this sort of behavior or don't say anything about it, or they condone it. But that's what this Pizzagate's all about. And Robert Mueller is the ultimate insider to come in and either stall this or help cover things up. That potentially is the danger of Mueller. And for him now to be announced just in the last hour, he's going to be testifying all day long, hour after hour in secret. It's his testimony, Vin, they're going to be asking, what is your strategy for doing this investigation? I want him to tell us, the people, in addition to these committees. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. And one thing that I want to add there too, I don't think Rosenstein should have brought in independent counsel. He's getting pressure from somewhere.
You had a great idea of what originally, the day this happened, you said Rosenstein should have been the one to come out and give the press conference.
Trump should have told Rosenstein, look, if I fire Comey, it's going to look bad politically, even though you recommended we need to get rid of him. I want you to go out to the press, do a press briefing, introduce yourself as Rosenstein, and explain that you and Sessions talked about this and decided.
Found out, is it Rosenstein or Rosenstein? Everybody's still saying it both ways. And the people that say it one way chastise the people that say it the other way and make them seem like they're the ones that are idiots. But, I mean, I've had Jewish friends tell me one is insisted it's Rosenstein and the other one's like, well, that's traditionally pronounced Stein.
I'll wait for him to correct me, or I'll hear it enough times a certain way. And
but usually after a few days, the media gets or at least agree on what they're going to pronounce a name or a term like. In Rosenstein, Stein, they still haven't. I mean, I listen to one cast, and I hear Stein. I listen to another network, I hear Stein still. They can't even make up their minds.
Yeah, and you know what? I trust Rosenstein a lot more than Mueller. And Rosenstein is. He is I'm not going to say he's not a Republican. He's more of a Democrat. But he got support from Democrats and Republicans overwhelmingly. Overwhelmingly. I would have left him in there to do it, but he's getting pushed. He's getting pressure from somewhere.
So that's your breaking news on the Hunt for the Truth. We're always trying to give it to you here. NewsTalk614.com. Hey, we need your support, not your money. It's the Spring Share-a-thon. Literally click on share right now. One of the things, as you know, if you're a regular listener of the program, which tries to start at 10:10 a.m., at least the stream, we try to emphasize things you may not have caught because they're, if not covered at all, they're just scrolls on the bottom of your TV when you watch even FNC, even Fox News. They're getting up to about 30% just following the fake news swamp message, and they're getting worse week by week. We've been documenting it. So we try to feature very long audio clips. Again, this is not regular talk radio. It's long-form talk. We'll sometimes go for an hour and not play a single commercial. Why? Because we don't have that many sponsors. No, no, sir. We will never, ever play more than 3 breaks every hour, and we'll try to keep it to none or one. Because we can do that, and we're not just going to play. One of the things, Vince, that aggravated me when I was doing the Hunt for the Truth at the old antique modulated station in town, I would get yelled at if I played an audio clip more than a minute long, and they preferred I keep every audio snippet to 30 seconds. You can't do that if you want to let people hear the entire story.
Not nowadays. You can't. You can't explain it in 30 seconds. I mean, you really need 5 minutes. But I mean, but usually you can find a 2 to 3 minute snippet, and
it's worth
that's
hearing
enough to explain it. Yeah.
And I would become so frustrated at WTVN because I seriously wanted to play an entire story by, Deutsche TV in Germany that was highlighting, something going on in the world, like, California had fallen into the ocean, but it wasn't being covered by the mainstream media unless they wanted to blame Donald Trump for California falling in. But I would have like 2 minutes of info, and either I only had 3 minutes to talk that break, or I knew my boss wouldn't like it if I played more than 1 minute.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, you remember the commercials you used to run all the time for about censorship? They ran it a lot, saying say no to censorship.
Oh, and it was like one of those public service announcements by the government itself.
This was a campaign. This was a campaign against censorship. What you're seeing today is a different kind of censorship.
It's Newspeak, 1984.
Yeah, exactly. Newspeak, as Dirk is calling it.
Literally, fake news. I mean, it's funny. Orwell wrote about Newspeak in 1984, but it's really, that's what it is. The fake news is determining how we speak and think.
I mean, if Sean Hannity, for example, has a topic on his show, you're going to have 10 others on the left that are going to do a whole different perspective of it to lead you to believe that because this is our perspective and Hannity just has this one perspective, that their perspective is right automatically. They just pile on stuff. And I mean, look at the media, how they're not. Look how they asked questions to McCaster the other day, and now and go back and look at how they ask questions to Sean Spicer or Sarah Huckabee.
It's like those tests and those commercials you'd see. Here's Coke and Pepsi in a blind taste test, and you do it to the questions. Don't tell somebody which president they're being asked of, and you'll see a complete difference.
If Sean Spicer walks out there in a military uniform, their tone will change. If McCaster walks out there in a military uniform,
he needs to wear his military uniform too. He comes out in a suit and tie because the normal American's not going to realize the prestige he has.
And you can see he's a military guy when you have him in a regular shirt, because you see his shoulders, how wide his shoulders are and everything. And for his age, McCaster's in damn good shape, by the way. McCaster's in good shape. You can tell this guy was in the military. He's worked out his life. I mean, So, but yeah, if you send him out in the military uniform, the press has to be careful because you got to show respect to your military, but you don't have to show respect to the president. Well, that's what the left says. Hey, well, doesn't matter. He's the president.
No, it's your duty. You must resist. It's the resistance on MSNBC at night.
But the hypocrisy just amazes me. The hypocrisy out there. Yeah, if I was President Trump, anybody who is active in the military in his administration, when he wants them to say something, go out in your military uniform. Go out in your military uniform. It changes the whole thing. But even with McCaster not wearing a military uniform, they would not attack him like they did Spicer because they knew McMaster, they knew McMaster, for one, wasn't going to put up with it, and two, McMaster is liked by both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats.
Okay, Vinny. Chad has actually done good work, and we've pre-screened this. Now, this is a video, all right? And if you're not watching on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, again, it's a radio show, so you don't have to watch. Occasionally, you do like this. You mentioned seeing public service announcements about free speech back in the 80s when we were young. Oh, gosh, that seems like just yesterday.
During the Reagan years.
Although it's seeming further and further away now, both historically and time-wise, and also what you can and can't say nowadays. But he found one of those commercials, but it's a TV spot. So Vinny and I are going to have to, it's like play-by-play radio baseball. For most of this, we're going to have to just tell you what's happening on the screen if you're listening. But this is amazing. Watch this, Vinny, and let's tell the people what we're seeing. Guy in a library going through books. He opens the book. It's George Orwell's 1984, and he's thumbing through the pages right now. We were just talking about 1984.
Can't talk about that here.
Now there's a girl, and she's violently putting her hand over his mouth for saying something about 1984, and then another guy drags him and grabs him.
Man, I'm glad I don't live in a
away
world where you have
don't
to
want
keep
talk
quiet about things all the
1984.
time.
He closes the book, and then the graphic.
You have to keep quiet about
you
things.
have a voice. At the very end of this 29-second commercial, the American flag comes up, and it says, "You have a voice. Voice it." So he had a kid in the library. He was in his 20s or late teens, wasn't you saying? Yep. He pulls out, which is obviously an old book in the library, and he opens it, and from the title in the inside, it's like the original print of 1984, because it's got all that old-fashioned title font that they would have and stuff, but it says George Orwell, 1984. Then he's thumbing through the pages, right?
Yep.
He goes outside, meets this girl on the street, and starts telling her about 1984. She puts her hand over his mouth.
You can't talk about that.
And says that. And then a guy comes up behind him and physically grabs him around the shoulders from behind and drags him away. Isn't that what's being done to us with political correctness now? And right at the bottom, look who sponsored this ad in
the ACLU.
Where are they now? I want to know, Vinny, where the fuck the ACLU is right now. I want to know where the hell the ACLU is when they would sponsor something like that. Because we've got Newspeak 1984 happening, funny, in our fake news and in our daily lives and our social circles. We are afraid of what to say about a whole shitload of stuff.
The ACLU has become completely politicized.
A disgrace. In fact, this is something you need to share with your friends, especially people that are under the age of 35, and show them what the ACLU used to represent. Now, even back in 1980s, I agreed probably with only 20 or 30% of what the ACLU represented, but this was their core principles: free speech. They would defend cases in court where it was the free speech of somebody that they politically didn't disagree with, because they're a liberal organization. But every now and then, and it used to be a bit when I was doing talk shows at first, it'd be like, well, here's something the ACLU says I agree with. It's kind of like now Pierce Morgan sometimes on Tucker. And, you know, Pierce Morgan was the far left liberal that took over for Larry King, anti-gun, huge, you know, kind of like Bill Maher. But every once in a while, at least somebody on the left says something sensible. And the ACLU used to be like that in the 80s. And this old TV commercial is a great example of what the ACLU used to represent. And it's the radicals that the ACLU was against in 1984 have won, Vinny. They've won for right now. And Trump's the last hope to maybe reverse it. Maybe.
I wouldn't say they have won, but they're winning. They're winning is probably more accurate. They haven't won yet, but they are winning right now.
So it's one of do you ever like beg people to share, or, you know, Jesus will hate you if you don't share this and that sort of Facebook post? I usually don't like those.
No, I don't. Those
like,
are like,
or the worst are like, forward this to 10 people and you'll have a blessed day.
It reminds me of the old chain letter thing back in the day.
Yep.
With the chain letters.
Yep.
You send this to 10 people or whatever.
And it could be valuable information, but I won't forward it. Just simply, I don't want to partake in that. This 1984, and it's funny because the public service announcement the ACLU is running on TV it used Orwell's 1984, and it shows people being stifled because they're trying to tell other people about 1984. And now we live in that society that the ACLU was against. So this is one of those things I'm going to put up on NEWSTALK614.com because it's something that you can share, and I'm not going to put, you'll rot in hell if you don't. But it's up right now if you want to get to this advertisement, this public service announcement from in the 80s when you were young. Maybe share it with like your cousins or your nephews or your children that are under 35 and don't know what freedom of speech used to be about. The left has become regressive. They're not the progressive. They're the regressive left. And all of a sudden, we are the free speech advocates. It's upside down.
Yeah, well, the liberals agree with free speech as long as you agree with them.
Well, then that's not free speech. And that's why you need to go get this video. I'll never tell you to do this, hardly at all, but share it. Go to NEWSTALK614.com. Now, if you're new, that does not go to a website because we want to make it very easy for people to get the live broadcast by going right to the fan page on Facebook and click on following to subscribe to the live show. So I'm going to play this one more time. It's just the music, but we've described it for you. Now I just want you in your minds as you're listening to this. Vinny and I are going to be quiet, but listen to the music. But just remember, this is 30 seconds. The first 5 seconds is a kid browsing through old books in a library. The next 5 seconds are him opening it, and it's 1984 by George Orwell, and he thumbs through a lot of pages and then goes outside after about 15 seconds and starts talking about the concepts of 1984 to a girl. She puts her hand over his mouth, and then another person comes up behind him and drags him away. Now, and then it comes up with, at the very end, the last second, you have a voice. Voice it. Then at the bottom, aclu.org/free speech. We're going to take you to break. We're going to be quiet. It's the Hunt for the Truth. NEWSTALK614.com. Hang on, chat's screwing up.
Shh, we can't talk about that here.
What do you mean? We're gonna start a revolution. Something our children can. Man, I'm glad I don't live in a world where you have to keep quiet about things all the time.